Heavenly Father, I'd like to thank you for this occasion. This occasion allows the Harrison County Board of Supervisors an opportunity to engage in our communities of all of Harrison County. Best that you allow us to make our decisions based off the best interests of all parties. We're so very thankful that you allow us to be here this morning. We ask that you allow us to make it back to our destination. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Supervisor Jones. Supervisor Quayle, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chair elect would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to include item 50, order of the Harrison County Board of Supervisors, Harrison County, Mississippi, adjudicating and authorizing preparation and submittal of an application for the Mississippi Development Authority DP Gulf Coast Restoration Fund grant for the construction of a diversion center. Simply like to amend the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by no, motion carries. Item number 1, recognize Mr. Gerald Blessey with the Mississippi Sound Coalition, present the 2024 second quarterly report. Mr. Blessey.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, good morning. I placed at your desk the second quarterly report to the DMR on the GOMESA grant and of our public education activities and science and economic studies, which are still underway. And it also has a summary of the status of our litigation. As you know, we have pending in the federal court before Judge Girola the Mississippi Marine Mammal Protection Act case, and we're awaiting decisions there. But first, I want to show you a really outstanding video that's been produced by your creative team, Take Two Video Pro, John Musgrave, Elaine Stevens is here. Elaine, stand up, Elaine, if you will. And assisted by the focus group is Allison Buchanan and Bill Glenn. Bill's taking film right now. So we're going to ask our IT expert here. She'll turn this film on for you and for the audience. This is a kind of a summary of the summary. So,
Dolphins are the canary in the coal mine for mankind.
When the dolphins die, human beings are next.
If we lose the sound, that is... Can you turn it up?
Can I take another impact like one
start it again.
What round
The
zero
sound.
when it comes to the harm from the
We'll get the sound up here. Just in time. I'm glad Rebecca's here. We're going to start this again.
Sorry, y'all. Dolphins are a canary in the coal mine for mankind.
When the dolphins die, human beings are next.
If we lose the sound, that is an existential threat.
Can I take another impact like one carrier did? What ground zero when it comes to the harm from opening up the spillways?
Now I have 0 boats that work for me, and I have no oysters coming across my dock.
All oysters back.
Our Mississippi Sound, we must protect it. Believe me, you can't see it, but there is a great and invisible danger threatening these waters. Our Mississippi Sound is in the eye of an environmental storm.
What if a garbage truck came in and dumped garbage in your front yard year after year and you did nothing? Well, this has been going on with the Mississippi River for 30 years. All the polluted water has been going into the Gulf, causing dead zones, and we have done nothing.
We have seasons where we can catch 400,000 sacks. It went from 400,000 to 400 sacks in a year's time.
When the oyster season was open, we used to have, oysters were really everywhere. That was the way to do it. I mean, there's nothing better than a plate of char-grilled oyster. And it just doesn't get any better when it comes to fine dining. We don't have any of it.
2019 was a disastrous year for our operation. Our business dropped, I want to say at least 36%.
I fish and recreate in the Gulf, and to see all of the devastation that has occurred to that ecosystem has just been sad.
This is the voluntary spillway. located 12 miles west of New Orleans. Just on the other side of this structure is the Mississippi River, and to the north of us is Lake Pontchartrain. The spillway is over 7,000 feet long, built in 1931 by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers nearly a century ago. As a result, some may consider the structure, as well as the way it's managed, archaic.
It's an early 20th century technology. It opens by pulling boards out of slots. Right? So this is a 100-year-old technology managing the biggest river that we've got, right? There are better ways to do these things.
Even when the bays are closed, this giant is leaking billions of cubic feet of polluted river water daily into Lake Pontchartrain that later makes its way to our beloved Mississippi Sound.
Spillway, when it opened in 2019 for 5 months, it poured over 10 trillion cubic feet of water into the Mississippi Sound.
Cytotoxins in our waters that have never really been documented this far from Lake Pontchartrain. We saw this green water all the way over toward Jackson County. It's really unprecedented. So when someone says, well, does the Bonnie Carey spillway really cause impacts? There's really no argument there.
We saw the effects, the algae blooms. We saw the effects when they opened the spillway. It's heartbreaking to see these dead dolphins, dolphin calves, oyster industry absolutely decimated.
So how do we protect New Orleans without destroying the Sound? The Mississippi Sound Coalition and science are taking on the David and Goliath struggle.
If it takes 20 years to fix a problem that it's taken 100 years to make, we're going to take 20 years to fix that problem. Coalition is in this to win.
So pursuant to public trust laws regarding seafood in the state of Mississippi, every resident has ownership in our marine resources, including our shrimp, crabs, fish, and oysters. They belong to you. And the reason we're fighting so hard is because they're stealing these right off your dinner plate.
The Corps of Engineers does not accept they are causing any harm with the Bonnie Carey spillway. And the courtroom is the place that gaslighting stops and we deal with the facts.
The coalition and the scientists are convinced short-term and long-term solutions do exist.
All we have to do, in my mind, if we get the water chemistry right, the water quality right, things are going to start going our way. I'll give you my promise.
And I think we have a good chance of making our oyster reefs come back, increasing our fishing, increasing our shrimp, and making it a great place to live like it once was, the seafood capital of the world. So we're working with the folks in Louisiana as well as our own folks to try to get the attention of the Corps of Engineers that this is a serious issue.
Mississippi has no seat on the table. We have no say-so. We have never had any say-so. And I think that needs to be changed.
Come visit Pastor Stan. See how Pastor Stan used to be. See how we are now and how we can plan a strategy to bring our oysters back.
Oyster gardens are very rare to come across nowadays. More than 80% of it has been lost worldwide. And it is a very big factor of our ocean. It serves as literally a filter in the water.
I would ask the Corps to please understand our position, and we understand their position, but their action can impact our way of life, and that's what's so important. And not only our way of life, but the whole economy and the state of Mississippi.
There are problems and there are solutions. We need a seat at the table, and the Corps needs to start listening to the people of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. But we need you to get involved to help save our Sound.
Please help us save our Sound.
So this is the first of a series that this creative team is preparing. We have a lot in the can, thanks to all of you, and those will be more educational, providing the solutions, the win-win solutions. These are on our website now, saveoursound.org. And I think we've handed out to the audience here our push cards that have the website on there. Please think about signing up for our emails, because those emails will alert you to events that are coming up, public events that are really important for us to make our case to the Congress and to the Corps. So we're also working to set up, I'm happy to report, a nonprofit, Save Our Sound MS, so that we can, on the website, have people make donations. A lot of people saying, how can we help? So that would be supplemental to what the county and the city and support that we're getting now. It does take a little time. This is a 501c4, not a C3. 501c4 allows you to do lobbying and litigation as well as other things. The catch is that the donor doesn't get an exemption, but the corporation is exempt. However, as you know, today, a married couple gets almost $30,000 standard deduction. So unless you're wealthy enough to give a lot more than $30,000, there's no deduction going to count anyway. So we think it's wise to do the C4, see if we can get private foundation money as well, applying for it to help supplement this as time goes on. As you know, the Lower Mississippi River Comprehensive Management Study that we asked, and our senators and Congressman Ezell were delighted to make the Corps do. It's in its second year. They're going to start having more hearings. They've only had one in Mississippi so far, and that's in Bay St. Louis, which was not very, that was pretty disappointing, frankly. And so as a supplement to that, though, we have asked, and Senator Wicker and Senator Hyde-Smith and Congressman Ezell have said they're going to call their own hearings sometime in the fall, right here, hopefully at the convention center or at a central location. And we would love to have all of you and all of the audience and as many Mississippians and people from Louisiana who are affected by these impacts to come to that hearing. The date's not set yet, but we'll make sure everybody knows about it. So next Monday, we're meeting with the Jackson County Board of Supervisors at 9 o'clock. You're welcome to join us. If you can, our group will be the same group of leaders from the coalition that presented in Bay St. Louis to the Hancock County Board, Marlon, our chair, and the rest of the team, the scientists, and so forth. And then the next day, the Jackson County Chamber of Commerce, that's Tuesday, August 20th at 4 o'clock at the Senior Citizen Center. Jackson County Chamber is having a large public meeting. We'll have the same presentation. Presentation to the board is going to have to be shorter necessarily because it's their meeting. We're asking them to please consider joining the coalition. They're the only board that hasn't joined yet. And so we're asking them to consider again joining the coalition. The next day in Jackson County, though, I'm delighted to tell you that Eagle Point Oyster Company is going to be shucking oysters, raw oysters, for free. And hopefully you'll come for the raw oysters because it'll be probably better than the speeches we're going to make. So we ask you to please continue the coalition's supporting our efforts in the next year's budget. We'll be presenting to you some detailed requests here in the next few days. But with that, I'll say, are there any questions? Happy to.
No.
Okay.
Great program, y'all.
Good job, Elaine. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerald. This time I'd like to recognize Ms. Mona Gaucher with Pine Belt Mental Health to discuss lease agreements.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you.
Good morning.
How are y'all today?
Doing fine, thank you.
I am here this morning to sort of, I guess, give you guys a report on our FY23, but also to discuss building leases and maintenance is what I was told. So I can hand you guys out. And also we have submitted our request for county contributions for the next year as well. I can give you another copy of that if you like.
Is it the same? Go up?
That's the one I gave you, yes.
What I'm saying is the amount.
Yes, we have not.
Requested.
Correct.
It's the same.
Yes. I can also give you our reports from FY23.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have submitted our request for continued contributions. It has not gone up. It's the same thing. 2023, as you can see in here for Harrison County, we served 2,982 citizens. On the left side, you can see many of the services that we have. You know most likely the CSU that we have, but we also provide services for individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities, outpatient services, substance abuse disorders, both residential and outpatient, and adults who have a serious mental illness, as well as children with serious emotional disturbance. You can see on the right part of here for Harrison County, we have roughly 130 employees that we employ for this county as well to provide services. And we still have vacancies that we're adding, positions we're adding as well. I have, again, I think this was at the request of the board to come and discuss leases and maintenance agreements. So prepared to do that.
Yes, ma'am. Basically, I think county now is in possession of the buildings, certain
Okay.
buildings from Region 13. And I guess what we're looking for is how we can work out an arrangement in reference to maintenance of those facilities and how we're gonna deal with it.
Okay.
And
Do you have a,
I don't think we have any solid information yet, but I think we should be developing some issues that we need to talk to y'all about.
okay.
I know we spent a good bit of money on the maintenance of those buildings at y'all's request, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the maintenance, we've done a lot of the maintenance as well. We do have a maintenance crew that goes there and handles the smaller things. I've just learned that apparently there's some smaller things that you guys asked to do that I didn't know about that should not have happened. We will do the smaller things. The main things that we need help with are things like the air conditioners are going out, the ceilings are falling in because of the ACs up there leaking. And thank you, this morning, someone is going to check on one of the buildings there. At the CSU, the ceiling has fallen in because the AC was leaking as well. I'm not sure if that one got fixed yet, but the AC did get fixed. There is things at the sprinkler system at the CSU continues to send off alarms because I'm not gonna understand this correctly, but supposedly like the city rushes water through it and there's a part in that old sprinkler system, then it sends off an alarm to the fire department every time. So we're trying to figure that out, but we are more than willing, and we have been doing the lower maintenance costs. But when there's something bigger than, say, $500 or more than that, we're trying to continue to talk with you guys. I've not had one-on-one conversations with anybody in terms of when there's an issue. So if we can do that, we will do that as well. Did also need to tell you, I forgot, that we do have a new program director for county operations. Her name is Carrie Baker. She is here, back here. Alex Deering has had an opportunity to go spend some time with her family, so she's taken that.
Ms. Goshi, I'm sorry, before you move away from maintenance, I just wanted to mention one thing. If you and our county administrator could start talking about maintenance as the needs come in, because in the past 3 years alone, we have spent in tax dollars $140,000 just on the Broad Avenue building. And that's just one of several, and I'm not pointing fingers by any means, but just pointing out that we do need to get on the same page and see who's responsible.
Yes, and I will tell you, all of the buildings are at an age where things are just falling apart too. But that would definitely be welcome for us to do that.
It needs to be spelled out in the contract, right, Tim?
I think what we'll do is sit down with you, Mom, and we'll lobby our county.
But Troy's been in those conversations as well.
Yeah.
We've actually not had any
And we'll work.
conversations yet, other than to come here today, so.
I don't think we're prepared here to negotiate the lease with you today.
Okay.
Won't you understand that? We're not prepared to do that today, but we will be happy to sit down with you, our county administrator.
Perfect,
and,
yes, that's all we
We'll work
ask.
out whatever agreements that we will have in the lease in reference to maintenance, et cetera. So
Okay.
at this point, I don't think any of us are prepared to sit down.
Okay.
work out specifically what our lease will.
All right,
Which
and
y'all
I
will
do believe you
include.
have my email address, but also here's my card with my